I was looking at Facebook the other day, and I noticed that people posted pictures of their relatives who had passed on, and they were sympathetically saying how they missed the person, how they wanted to be with them, and they wish they can talk to them, and so forth. And it dawned on me, I said, that a picture speaks 1,000 words. And when people look at relatives that have passed on who are no longer alive, I wonder what feelings come into view. Do you get warm fuzzies or do you get cold pricklies? What was your experience with the person? If they were alive again or you had the opportunity, would you really want to speak to them? Or do you feel that you just have nothing to say and there's nothing there? And I've worked at many different hospitals after stopped traveling being a psychic. And I spoke with hospice nurses, and they say at the end of life, you can always tell when somebody's ready to pass on because all of a sudden the person's talking to their dead relatives. And it's thought to be by psychics and mystics, as well as the hospice experience, that dead relatives come to take you to the final resting place, to heaven or wherever, when you pass, and they come to help you with this voyage. And I myself didn't have a great experience with my original family and siblings or whatever. I didn't have a lot of warm fuzzies myself. And when I look at their picture, I really feel nothing because in my own life, they gave me nothing. I always say that the only thing they ever gave me was a hard time. And I said to myself, when my day comes and I pass, do I really want these people to come back for me? Or would I prefer that it would be somebody else? I think in my case, I would prefer that it would be somebody else. And it's interesting when you look at the pictures of somebody, and we're talking about people that have passed on. What feelings do you get? Do you feel that you want to speak to these people, or if you could, or don't you want anything to do with them when you've had such a bad experience with them? And a lot of mediumship things, the reason when people want to speak, get a medium to give them information on somebody that passed on was because of a lot of unresolved issues. And what I found through my own life experiences, the way somebody treats you in the end is the way they always planned on treating you that way. It's not an accident. It's actually a purposeful thing. If they were unkind to you, if they disinherited you, if they treated other relatives better than they did you, distinctly better, this is what they always intended. Talking to them again wouldn't really help if you could, through a medium or whatever. And the reason that people want a medium is that they feel like there's a lot of unresolved issues. And I always say that the way they treated you in the end is the way they really always intended to treat you. There weren't any errors or mistakes, and they're not looking for forgiveness. So everybody has a different karma. And it's a wonderful thing if somebody posts a picture on Facebook or Twitter or wherever they post it, and they say, gee, I'd love to speak to my father again. He was such a kind man, or my mother or my aunt. And I think it's a wonderful thing if that's the way they feel. But there are those that don't feel that way. When we look at a picture, we almost feel cold, like there was never anything there, and the only thing they ever gave us, our inheritance, was a bad time. But it's interesting. I say a picture speaks 1,000 words. And there's that old expression that you may not remember the last thing somebody said to you, but you remember how they made you feel. In my case, my siblings, my parents, didn't make me feel very well. And I wouldn't want to resume that relationship, even in my passing, that they should come for me. I wish somebody else would come for me and not them.